All right, everybody. Welcome to the WR3 overview. And it's getting late here, but I've really enjoyed sharing with you guys for the first time some of our most classified material, or at least an overview or introduction to it. I hope it's been helpful. We're going to close with the WR3. That means web ring number 3. You can see we've been very consistent all the way through so that you would understand the pattern. Web ring, if it's got an S, it's social. If it does not, it means that you own the properties. WR1 is branded. WRS1 is branded profiling for your social platforms. Everything else is non-branded for the purposes of PageRank and third-party traffic. Hopefully that makes sense. WR3 consists of building your WR3 sites, which I call social media blogs or Twitter blogs, HTML websites, and cloaked sites. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. When I'm talking about WR3 sites, I'm talking about Twitter sites and other kinds of sites that use mass RSS curation. We give you the definition of RSS curation in the course and on our wiki. We have several clients that have unbelievably automated websites generating thousands upon thousands of visitors a week, making anywhere from $3,000 to $20,000 a month, and they're 100% automated. We call this RSS curation. But as an example here, I've left a WR3 site that uses the Drudge theme, and what I do is I use certain plugins and systems to automatically run the Twitter army through the blog sites. And what that does is it makes sure that your tweets, that's the page tied to your Twitter updates, are actually indexed in the search engines. And you can get some nominal backlinking for that. Even though there has been a lot of arguing between Google and Twitter as to the value of tweet pages, and Google has depreciated them more or less, the cool thing is that you do have pages generated on automation when you're following our system, and you might as well get them indexed, and you might as well get the backlinks. Okay, and they're not high order backlinks or high priority or high page rank generating, but they add up, especially when you have in the tens of thousands of tweets. You can also use things like Twyla, which we do not cover here in the process map, to generate and index your Twitter accounts from both your WRS1 and your WRS2 sites. Okay, so the purpose of the WR3 site is essentially to make sure that any of your social media accounts, like your Google Plus, microblog posts, your tweets, anything that can be generating a feed and then be republished onto a blog post, can get indexed. Sometimes you even get traffic. Part of the reason this is not really for PageRank. It's definitely not for human beings. If you can get PageRank to this, which is possible, and I have, that's okay. The purpose of this is just to make sure that all the social microblogs get indexed and that you have some blog and ping happening, and you're doing that through the sitemaps, but more importantly, you're doing that through the WordPress's ability to ping all of the Twitter accounts. So you can have an entire Twitter army that's getting reblogged, and you're using the ping ability of your Twitter account, of your WordPress blog, to make sure that all of these are getting indexed. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And we do teach you how to do this at the live themes and certification event. 17 is about HTML sites. This will be coming soon. This is stuff that we're not ready to talk about, and some of the other platforms that you want to build on both your didn't really have room to put it on the WR2, but you put HTML sites here. Keep in mind that these are just placeholders for what can sometimes be up to 200 blogs on a large network. Okay, and so when we're talking HTML sites, we're talking about not using CMS like WordPress or Joomla or Drupal. We're talking about HTML generated sites. We use a classified software that we cannot disclose to you in order to do this, and we can do this on a massive scale. Okay, and remember, once you have your website silo architecture and your theme clusters and your EKDNA, you have all the information you need to use very powerful systems that can generate hugely targeted, fully siloed HTML sites on these outer ring. And like I said, you can bring these also into the WR2 area, okay, which is your platform. So you can generate these HTML pages just like you generate Joomla and Drupal sites. Then the last one is cloaked sites. And I left this one to last because I know that a lot of you have a lot of preconceived notions about cloaking. Some of you are highly technical, so you know the realities behind cloaking. My inside scoop to you is that people's idea about SEO is highly mystical, meaning non-technical. There's a huge amount of buzz and mystique and marketing kind of nonsense around SEO at this point. I don't really believe almost any of the buzz that I hear most of the time now, even in some reputable sources now. And so what I have to say about that is that anybody who's not cloaking is missing the big picture when it comes to cloaking, and people are afraid of it because they don't understand the kind of size of the network that you and I are talking about here today, and we've talked about in the previous videos. Cloaking is amazing when you don't leave any footprints, and when you're simply using it to the benefit of the user, and when you're using it for keyword research. There's all kinds of plugins out there, like Keyword Explosion and others, that generate thousands of pages, and you're able to redirect them. And they can generate thousands of keywords based on your EK DNA or your EPA keyword DNA. That means the giant, huge bag of 10,000 keywords that you've collected when you've done your research in Kraken and in Domain Web Studio. And once you have those, like Keyword Explosion is the consumer grade cloaking tool for blogs. It's one of the cloaking tool for blogs, and then there's Cloak FM and all these different things. This is child's play compared to some of the stuff that we use when we build your network, either done for you or we teach you at the ThemeZoom Live certification event. We don't talk about those stuff in public, and we certainly don't talk about it even in our membership area very much. And that is because it is a highly taboo topic that is little understood. Everything is just a redirect it's just a question of where and how and when do you redirect or use cloaking. And it's a powerful method. And we reserve it for the WR3 ring. But there are those who I know that use it in the WR2 ring. I use cloaking in my WR2 ring. That's how safe I feel that I'm doing it. However, I do set up a completely independent blog platform, and I leave no footprint when I'm doing that. We have a system that we use that can generate literally thousands of cloaked sites with PageRank. You can purchase domains with pre-populated PageRank. You're going to have that PageRank, and what we're doing is essentially creating PageRank out of thin air. So if we go back to our map here, let me see if I can get this pin working here. Remember that the green arrow refers to PageRank. Okay, but you can also get traffic from it as well. So when we're pulling, I don't have those two buttons here, but just remember that these are the cloaked. When you create thousands of preloaded domains with preloaded PageRank and you do it right, it's going to pass link juice from your outer rings to your inner rings. You can point them here, which is going to give these higher rankings on the search engines. And then, of course, then the result from that is more traffic coming off of your WR2s. And on top of that, you can also get some of these preloaded cloaked pages as well as preloaded actual HTML pages using the same software to get inbound link juice to your WR1 sites, which is your money sites. So you have a twofold purpose here in the outer layer. Okay, it's to drive PageRank. I mean, I'm talking about with HTML and cloaking technologies that we use. It's to get link juice or PageRank juice pretty much everywhere to all the sites. Okay, and you also get traffic from those outer locations as well. Okay, another purpose of the WR3 is to drive huge amounts of indexing for your Twitter army and some traffic. Okay, so it makes sure that you get all of your, I like to call them the drudge hubs, because sometimes I'll use the drudge theme, for the WR3 Twitter blog. Okay, and so the Twitter blog, let's just go ahead and make the red arrow here for content. There we go. See if that works. So here's the Twitter army. I like to drive the entire Twitter army. I only do about 10 or 15 per blog because of the limitations of the size, but I like to use WP Drudge for that because you can fit quite a few Twitter feeds directly through there. Then they all go through the sitemap and through the blog ping system of WordPress, and then they all get indexed, and that's going to give you some basic link juice from Twitter army back into these WRS2, back into the WR2s. Okay, so this is how we're working at, and what ends up happening if you get all of this thing working. Okay, let's just go ahead and look at that. When this whole system that I revealed to you today starts working together, the only thing you really do, what your life really looks like, is constantly creating ground zero content for what we call your personal brand broadcasting network. I choose video because when you know your vitamin, your painkiller, when you know the FAQ and the SAQ, when your staff, your team, and your prima donna or your subject matter expert knows what the pains are, and they keep honing the message and they keep honing the golden frame, then you could literally just create tons of content and original content on video, send it off through Domain Web Studio, have all the writing redone, then have that repurposed content through curation and the rest all being directed to the outer rings or downstream. And then you would literally have a tsunami, a perpetual downstream traffic system working, the content going downstream and the traffic being driven back upstream to you. And then you can focus on what you really should be focusing on, which is creating unique content, messages, and FOP, or frequency of publish, increasing your frequency of publish so that you close more sales. And if you do it within the method that we've talked about by generating your painkiller DNA, all of these things are going to be driving amazing traffic. I mean, I just love getting up every morning, because I like to see my traffic stats. And we've got blue is actual traffic. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at that. Content goes the other way. So here's a video blog. That's driving traffic to your money site. You might have multiple video blogs all representing a theme in your silo structure. Okay. Drupal will be driving traffic. Okay, here's another video blog, probably with a different theme, driving traffic to the primary site. Here's a Joomla site over here. Of course, you might have a SEO, BB SEO forum or something like that out here, and all of them are going to be driving traffic. And then, not even to mention, your Google Plus is driving you traffic, Twitter is driving you traffic, YouTube, Pinterest. There's a tsunami of traffic. Picture the blue as just nonstop streams of traffic. Okay. And just check this out. Again, we have Scoop It. If you add the curation to it, you just start multiplying all of this traffic. And then, just as if that wasn't more intense, you've got the Facebook fan pages, the automated Facebook fan pages out here driving traffic to your WR2s. Okay. Okay, which are then driving even more traffic in. See how that works? It's like a ricochet. Okay, and you've got your Twitter army that's driving traffic sometimes to the video pages on a one-to-one relationship, and then you're going to get some of that directly to your money sites as well. And I kind of mix it up with that a little bit. Okay, and then you have your Pinterest army that's doing the same thing. It's driving traffic back to your money sites, which again is driving unique traffic from a unique channel back to your money site. Okay, so this is how it works, and it really does work amazingly well. And then the Twitter army is also getting indexed on the search engines. So sometimes the search engines will drive traffic directly to the video pages if they ever find the Twitter indexes on the blog post, which we call a WR3 Twitter blog or a WR3 Google Plus blog or anything that you can pull a feed from. And I haven't done it with Pinterest yet, but I hear that that works as well. So what you see here is a massive movement and a focused effort of driving all this traffic in towards your money site, but more importantly, Not more importantly, but also equally important, you're generating page rank on a massive scale. When you start adding the cloaking and the HTML as optional, if you're afraid of that stuff, don't do it. Gray hat is about as bad as we get, but on the WR3, pretty soon you're generating page rank out of thin air because you're buying those preloaded domains, and it's driving all of that traffic in, and all of a sudden you need to have your own server because you've got so much traffic. And believe me, that can happen really, really fast. And if you nail your call to action, it's not just traffic that you're going to have, you're going to be having conversion because you've answered the pain, you've stopped representing yourself as a vitamin, you've entered the pain, and then all that traffic ends up converting. Okay? So that is what I call the socially activated one web ring, perpetual downstream SEO traffic system. I hope this has given you a little bit of an overview. This is not a step-by-step how-to. We do teach this live, and in some of our upcoming advanced courses we'll be giving you more detail. As you can imagine, it hasn't been that easy to teach, so I can understand why some of you have been confused the last couple of years. I'm working very hard in 2013 to make sure that you understand as much as possible, and making this, as Albert Einstein said, as simple as possible, but not simpler, and as stackable as it possibly can be, so that you follow a step-by-step concession without being too stuck in a linear process, and also have a little bit of a room to riff or to improvise where you might need to within your own business model. So once you understand the framework, it's like any good musician or any good improv, as soon as you understand the framework, everything can make sense and you know how to customize it to your own needs or to your client's needs. I really hope to see you in ThemeZoom certification at some point this year. And if not, I do hope you take the online version of the course as soon as it comes out. And if you're not financially able to do that, please do join us at networkempire.com. It's very affordable to one and all, and we do work very, very hard to make sure that you understand this. Now, don't join if you're looking for internet marketing bunk, or if you're looking for non-integrated. If it doesn't fit into this system, we're not that interested in it. It's not that we exclude other things. They're all here if they're useful, but if they're not sustainable and we think they have a 6-month shelf life or less, we probably don't get into it much. All right? So hopefully that makes sense. All right. Well, we're going to be doing a lot more videos coming up in different sections of the site. So I'm going to be rebuilding the content curation course, which is curationprofits.com. Going to be rebuilding the Google Plus course, which is g-plus+.com, and many, many other courses to come. Sue Bell is revamping the entire membership area. Domain Web Studio is quickly becoming Network Empire, and you do have this at your disposal for the next few weeks. If you want to find out which software products are important for which part of which web ring, please do click on this flash animation and click on the Network Empire product overview or anything else that we have in this screen, and do stay updated with this flash presentation, as it will be it's subject to all kinds of change as we begin to add more and more details. I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Thank you.